The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra's camera absolutely destroys the iPhone 12 Pro Maxes in one key way. Let's take a look. So Samsung's new flagship phone is here, and sure, it's got a powerful processor and a lovely screen and 5G, and it supports a stylus now. But I'm a photographer. What I care about are the images it can take. Well, there's a whole casserole of cameras on the back to take your photos, including a standard zoom, a 3x telephoto zoom, a 10x telephoto zoom, and a super wide-angle lens as well. That's pretty much a whole kit bag of photography. But then the iPhone 12 Pro Max has got a multiple camera array as well, and we've already been incredibly impressed with the shots we can get. To see how the two phones stack up though, I took them out for some tests. I began in the beautiful Dean Village in the heart of Edinburgh. This first test with the standard zoom lens looks great on both phones, with an even exposure and plenty of detail. It's much the same on this shot of a Canon, with both cameras capturing tons of information in both the highlights and the shadows. There's actually very little to choose between the two images. I also think they've both done a great job capturing this view overlooking Edinburgh, but things get interesting when you start looking really close up at the shots. At a 100% crop, it's noticeable that the iPhone has more detail in its image. Switching to the wide angle, this scene is again perfectly exposed, although there is a noticeable shift in the white balance between the two phones. I actually think I prefer the S21 Ultra's shot here, as its magenta shift has given the scene a slightly more sunset feel. That white balance difference is particularly noticeable in this image too, with the S21 Ultra producing quite a strong cyan shift in the blue sky, which doesn't look particularly natural to my eye, and it's done exactly the same in this scene as well. But it is the zoom where the S21 Ultra really shines. While the iPhone 12 Pro Max's zoom goes to a maximum of 2.5 times, the S21 Ultra has a 3x and 10x optical zoom, which opens up a huge array of shooting opportunities. So I headed up high for a good viewpoint overlooking the city. At a 2.5 times zoom, this is the best the iPhone 12 Pro can manage. And sure, it's a nice enough shot, but I was able to take this with the S21 Ultra's much bigger 10x zoom. That extra zoom has transformed the scene, showing a gorgeous view right down Edinburgh's Princess Street. I tried to zoom in digitally with the iPhone to get a comparable view, and this is the result. Side by side, there's just no competition. And of course, you can use that huge zoom for video too, getting beautiful cinematic footage at 4K resolution from huge distances away. As a photographer, I love having a telephoto zoom with me when I go out shooting, as it lets you get compositions that you just can't get with smaller lenses, and the S21 Ultra allows for exactly that. I love this shot overlooking Crammon Beach taken at 10x, and this shot of the dramatic Fettes College. Here's how close the iPhone can get in the same scene. The S21 Ultra can take that zoom further to 30x and even 100x, but the quality is reduced to such a point that the results become pretty much unusable. And to be honest, I rather think that Samsung should have got rid of its space zoom after the Galaxy S20 and instead spent that time making the 10x zoom even better, because let's be honest, that is the thing that's going to make the biggest difference to your photography. We're another generation on, and that 100x zoom still seems like nothing more than a gimmick. So which camera is actually best? Well, that is not an easy question to answer. Fundamentally, they're both superb, being able to take vibrant images with excellent dynamic range. It's very close, but generally I think I prefer the shots taken on the iPhone, as they tend to have more natural colours and less digital sharpening. However, I also tend to edit all of my images in programs like Adobe Lightroom, so I tend to prefer a more natural image to start with that I can then apply my effects onto. But it's the zoom that really separates these two, and it's worth thinking about how often you've wanted to zoom in closer when you've taken photos before. It really does open up a whole new world of composition options, which the iPhone just cannot compete with. If you've ever felt the 2x zoom on your old phone lacking, the S21 Ultra may well be the camera phone for you. But what do you think of the new S21 Ultra? Is it the phone for you, or do you have eyes only for the iPhone 12 Pro Max? Do, of course, leave your comments in the box below, and make sure to keep it CNET for a lot more.